Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have this position. It is white to move. So you can pause the video for a while to try to figure out the answer on your own before we look into the different variations. Okay, so this pawn is going up and this pawn is going down and it is white to move. If you thought about moving the bishop, for example, to give a check either on, for example, on f7 or on d1, it's going to be problematic. Bishop here doesn't help because we have a major problem here as white. This pawn is so close to promoting, and giving a random check is not going to help. It's just going to go here. And giving a check on d1 also not going to help because he can just get his king closer. Okay, so now you might say, well, duh, it's very obvious. We just play king to f1, right? We just try to get closer to the pawn that is going to be promoting, and then we can stop it, right? This move actually is losing. The reason it is losing, because there is this move h2. We cannot go here because the bishop is defending. We cannot go here because the pawn is defending. And what is black threatening right now is just to move the bishop anywhere else and then promote. That's very obvious. And if we push the pawn, for example, I mean, technically he can just take it. Even if we attack the bishop, he's just going to promote, and this is obviously losing for white. So it's not king to f1, it's not moving the bishop to give any kind of check. So the only piece that is left to try to calculate if it's actually the correct move or not to use, it is this pawn. Because moving the king anywhere, he's just going to push the pawn, move the bishop, and promote. We have to do something. And that is moving this pawn. It's not f4. f4 is losing because obvious h2. Even if we get closer, bishop moves anywhere else. And this is a clear promotion. We have this check. King moves, for example. Bishop here. He's just going to take it. After we take, promotion, and that is losing. So it is not the f4. It is f3. That's a really beautiful move. Now you might say, well, what is the plan behind this move, f3? Well, the plan is very simple. The bishop is not allowed to run away, because if the bishop managed to run away, the pawn will be able to promote. So if he takes here, for example, now we can play king to f2. We're trying to attack this bishop. For example, if you thought about, I don't know, like defending, there are many moves, for example, here for black. If you thought about defending this, like, let's say king to g4, we just have many checks. We have a check here, king moves somewhere, we take the bishop. If he went here, we take the pawn. So he's not going to defend with the king. For example, he pushes the pawn, and in this position, we don't take. He's going to promote and definitely win this game. Instead, when he push, we play a very beautiful move. You can pause the video to try to find it before I tell you what that move is. This is a really beautiful move, and that is bishop to d1. That's beautiful, because if he actually promoted to anything, queen, rook, whatever, then we have bishop takes, defended by the king, and that's a fork. And then he gives away the queen, and that is obviously a draw. And he managed to take here, just take the bishop, then we just play king to g2. He cannot protect this pawn in any kind of way. He moves the king, he moves the bishop, and after that he loses the pawn. So is these all of the moves? Well, he can still play something else, like other than bishop takes, because after bishop takes, we've seen we have king to f2. So what if he pushed this pawn? He's trying to take and then promote. So what are we going to do? We play the exact same move, king to f2. We're trying to stop this bishop from getting away from this file and then try to protect the pawn promotion. If he takes here, we still do not take. There's going to be a queen promotion. We play the exact same move, bishop to d1. He promotes. For example, he can promote here to a knight. You might think that this is actually different in any kind of way. Well, here, we can just play, just take. We can just take here. Or we can play king here. If you want to take, we take the knight, and this is still a draw. And if a queen or a rook, that will be a check, and that will be also a fork. So the only way to win this, to draw this, the only way to draw this is to play this beautiful move f3. Now you might say, okay, what about bishop to g2? He's just trying to push. The exact same move, king to f2. If you push, you're going to lose the bishop. If you take, well, then we just take. You push, and there's this. Still a draw because this pawn and this bishop are not enough to win this game. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you again with another one.